where do I live now? So where I live now is kind of everywhere because of that, because you know, your traditional news is still really important. If you're opening a restaurant, you still want the TV stations to come out and cover you on your opening day or when you're ready to launch. You still want a story in the LA Times. But the influencers, the food bloggers, and those folks on Snapchat that have thousands and thousands of people following them, or on YouTube, you still want to reach them too. So I think what's important to think about is, for your particular brand and your particular audience, where are they living? So are they living on Instagram? Are they living on Twitter? You know, is Pinterest, do you have a really visual company? Pinterest can be really great for that. So I think it's really important to figure out where your audience is and try to reach them there. And then me personally, I love Twitter. I love Instagram. And I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another really great free tool because you can look up every journalist. Most of them are on there. You can get so much information, and I use it all the time.
Kathleen, you were going to jump in on that.
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, I really like your point about influencers. You know, I mean, it's just no longer about just going after the media. And, you know, we do the same thing at Sprint. When we build a PR strategy, we take into account, you know, how to reach the reporters. Yes, because like you said, I mean, we have to get USA Today and CNET and all of those folks. But also, how do we get the influencers? And how do we get the right influencers for our product? So we have a new service that will actually deliver phones to your door, right? And so it's delivery and setup. And one of the things we thought is that this would be great for mall bloggers. And so what we did is we did a concerted effort to reach after mall bloggers, because for the busy stay-at-home mom, this is a great service. You don't have to go out to the store. You can have the Sprint, you know, direct to you car and expert come to you and set up the phone. And so, you know, and what we're finding is that when we do go after these influencers, one is it can be a little less expensive, and then two is that, you know, we really get a nice bang in social by doing a targeted approach to the influencers and the media, as we said, together in one package.
Do you want to jump in, Victoria?
I don't know. I don't have any tried and true case studies, I guess. Just speaking to the snackable content and bite size, that's something that we definitely recommend to anyone sitting a release with us. Your press release is just one component. People think, you know, I get people, again, surveys, show of hands. I know there's a lot of business owners in here. I know a lot of people talk about the integrated marketing communications, the difference between advertising, marketing, PR, and now digital. So who's doing all of that for their brand or organization? Anyone? Okay. So I get a lot of people that call me, and I don't know how our newsroom gets them to me, but they're trying to ask for clip reports and things like that. And we're just a distribution company. Your press release should be one component of multiple things. A good case study, I want to say it was Amazon with their, what's the tablet Amazon has?
The Fire.
Yeah, the Fire. A few years ago, and this, again, it was a few years ago, I don't know if anyone's heard, where they sent out a traditional press release, but they also sent a press release that was literally lines of tweets, 140-character tweets. So if you're a journalist or anyone interested, some people are only interested in the display. Some people are only interested in the processor. You can literally copy and tweet that tweet. And that was the press release that they sent out. They did a traditional one as well, but obviously the tweet one is the one that went out. And they really took that one piece of content and transformed it. I'm sure they had a blog post that went with it. They had Facebook campaign. They did everything. And that's really just reusing, you know, what you have and what's available to you, and really transforming that release into a story. And yeah.
So let's just sum up for just a second. So what we've heard is that in traditional PR, when we're going after broadcast stations, radio, newspapers, writers, digital publications, there's a traditional relationship between a reporter and someone who's sharing some information. And the very first step of sharing information is to have that information gathered in one place that's easily digestible. And we're still a society that does use textual information for sharing information. We call that a news release. ideally 400 words or less. Sometimes it's more than that, that we've got to do. So that's a critical component. How do you explain what it is you do? The news release is a great place to capture that or what that's about. But then we've seen an explosion in platforms beyond radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, right? And what those are is the digital side of social media. And today we're talking about all of the platforms that we need to connect to an audience that cares and is going to be aligned with us, because we've seen amazing fragmentation in the marketplace, right? Amazing fragmentation in viewership on hit television shows, amazing fragmentation in readership, amazing fragmentation that we're all moving towards a long tail of small groups of people that care passionately about a particular subject. So some of those digital platforms, yell them out right now. Where do you go? Digital platform. LinkedIn, what else?
Twitter,
Twitter, what else?
Instagram.
Instagram, what else? Pinterest, what else? Reddit, what else?
Blogs.
What?
Blogs.
Huffington Post.
Blogs. Huffington Post, I would put as more traditional media. There's reporters that are writing. But we also see that there are Snapchat, right? Vine. We're having an explosion of different platforms of how people are going to connect and generate. And I'll tell you anecdotally that audiences shift. Just because you are an Instagram fan today doesn't mean you're going to stay there. We all change our toothpaste and the detergent we use to wash our clothes eventually. So what happened? I will tell you that at Nickelodeon, they built a huge 500,000 fan base of Instagram followers, and today that's not an active group. So they found out that their young audience of, what do we call them, Generation Z now, is moving to Snapchat and Vine.
Yeah.
They need to be there, not at Instagram. Instagram is yesterday for Nickelodeon, right? So